Hello everybody, this is my M235i which I bought recently. I'm going to do a quick video which shows you about the start-stop part of these cars and how you can effectively disable it. So you can see at the moment the car is locked. I'll unlock it. When we get into the car, the first thing that I'll show you is that the start-stop light is on, which means start-stop itself is disabled. And it is disabled because I've gone into the programming with that little dongle there and BIMA code, and I have disabled it. And the reason I've disabled it is because I'm a bit concerned about the bearing surfaces in start-stop engine vehicles, because as a mechanic from years ago, I went to college and did a bit of mechanic stuff for a little while, and still work in an engineering field. I'm a fairly savvy person when it comes to engineering, as you may have guessed from some of my other videos that I've done. Bearing surfaces in engines don't do well when the oil pump isn't running, and the start-stop by its very nature means that sometimes you can be putting the engine under quite a lot of load from basically being off. So in order for that oil pump to catch up, I know they've had some really good improvements in oil pump technology, and the bearings in these engines have got some additional iron particles in them. Judging by the BMW's technical documentation, they've put some additional hard particles in the bearings in order to mitigate that startup wear. There's still going to be some wear when the engine starts up. So with that in mind, I don't want the start-stop to be in operation. So what the program essentially does is it tells the car to remember the mode that it was last in. So when you get out of the car and lock it, it doesn't automatically revert back to being on every single time. It stays where it was, and the last time I was in this car, it was switched to off. So it's remembered the off position, and it stays in the off position. Essentially, the start-stop does save a bit of fuel, but if I look on the display, I've just changed it to factory. The car's done 14 and a half or 14.8 thousand miles, and as you can see, it'll be 2 years old in February. In that time, the engine's only saved 31 minutes worth of fuel, and that's at tick over. So essentially, very little, very little fuel, really. I know a lot of cars all saving half an hour of fuel adds up to a lot. However, I'm not prepared to put the bearings in my car at risk to save a fiver's worth of petrol. As I said before, this car has got quite a small engine. It's only a 2 litre. I've got an EV on order, and this is the car I'm going to be driving until that EV comes. So I'm doing my bit for the environment by going electric, but I just don't want to destroy the bearings in this car in the interim. So if you want to do the same, then maybe get yourself one of them little dongles, plug it into your OBD port, and just set the start-stop to last memory remember. I think that's what it's called, something along the lines of that, and that will make sure that it stays in the off position like that, and that way then hopefully you'll save the bearings in your car.